Welcome back to KION News on Fox. We're coming at you live from the ancient shores of Haynes Lake at the Moffett Studios on the south side of Salinas with your weather forecast this evening. Let's start with a look at those marine layer clouds once again. The marine layer just about 1,000 feet in depth. It was pretty deep earlier today. It has become a little bit less deep late this evening. We're actually starting to already see some drier air mix into it, so that's going to be fighting against those clouds overnight, but we may still wake up to a few low clouds kind of hanging around the bay, and also the potential for some fog to get trapped in some of our valley bottoms overnight tonight. Now, the overall weather pattern reveals that we have an area of low pressure. It's somewhat cut off from the flow off to the west right now. That's helping, or it has helped encourage a more, say, a westerly flow, at least southwesterly flow across the region, which kind of helped get that onshore flow today. This pattern is a blocking pattern, and while it won't exactly have the same configuration in the coming days, the block is still going to be there. It may just not quite look the same. So ultimately, a blocking pattern is going to prevent rain from reaching our shore. We like to see a very progressive west to east pattern without big amplified ridges sticking in one place for a typical rainy season, and that's just not the way things are going for us. We've got the jet stream way up into British Columbia, and that's where all of the precipitation is going. Even places like Oregon are pretty dry right now, so the rain is well off to the north. The ridge is going to move to the east early next week and sit over California. That's going to warm us up a bit, but we're still seeing these little cutoff lows kind of hiding under the ridge and helping keep everything blocked up while we have big troughs out over the central portion of the country behind my balding head and well out over the eastern Pacific or the western Pacific here, which is where most of the precipitation is happening. In fact, by the end of the week, we're continuing to see high pressure blocking systems, so it's looking pretty dry. Now, this is one particular model run. This is part of a suite of model runs, and some of the runs within the suite are showing some precipitation around the 25th or 27th. We'll watch that for you. This particular run is looking pretty dry, really, through the end of the month. So no rain in the near term. We'll be watching things obviously as we head toward closer times. Looking at our temperatures right now, cooling off into the 30s in some inland areas around the bay. We're mostly in the 40s, where we still have some thicker clouds like in Monterey. It's currently 50 degrees tonight. Temperatures will stay maybe more seasonable overnight. We've been a little on the chilly side with the dry air in place for the last few days, but I think we'll have lows closer to normal by tomorrow morning for most coastal sites. 718 your sunrise tomorrow morning as you're kicking off that weekend. Future track clouds showing some reduction in the cloud cover toward tomorrow morning. Again, patchy low cloud cover possible, and then into the afternoon we get a little bit of a offshore breeze early in the day, and that may switch back to onshore as we head into the afternoon, and that could actually bring a few low clouds back to the coast tomorrow afternoon. So we may see a few more clouds tomorrow, but maybe not quite as much as we had late in the day today. So ultimately we'll have partly cloudy skies, I suppose, for coastal cities. Temperatures will be a little on the chilly side. We still have some cold air in place across the state. Down south we've got some frost advisories, which we'll go into more detail about in a bit, but this is a look at your temperature forecast overnight tonight. Down into the 30s across the Santa Cruz Mountain Valleys on the coast, in the 40s tomorrow morning. Highs within a degree of 60 for the most part for the Santa Cruz Mountain Valleys and the coast. On the east shore of the bay, lows in the upper 30s to low 40s. Highs again pretty close to 60, which is maybe still a little cool for this time of year. On average, we should be in the low 60s, and some areas obviously are there, but many other areas are a little bit on the cooler side. Northern valleys, low 60s tomorrow after lows in the 30s. On over to the peninsula, we're going to drop down into the 40s overnight with highs only in the 50s, except in Carmel. Dipping into the 60s there. As my kid says when he's got his chicken nugget, dip, dip. That's what we do in Carmel tomorrow. It's kind of funny, actually. I was actually dipping something into caramel. I mean, okay, we're not gonna draw that conclusion. Okay, down south we got 30s. Up and down the Salinas Valley, we're back into the 60s tomorrow afternoon. So not all that warm, but we'll get a little bit warmer as we head into early next week as the ridge strengthens over us. So if you like warmer January afternoons, you'll be in luck. Looks like we'll feel a little bit nicer by the time we get to early next week. But dry, no rain in that 7-day forecast. It is the rainiest month of the year typically, and it rained on January 3rd, and it looks like it could be maybe the only day, maybe something late in the month, but Whew, looking pretty dry, Lisa.
Well, you know, a lot of people are hoping it holds off. We've got the Pro-Am at the end of the month.
Don't want that Crosby weather?
No, we don't want the rain. Like what happened last year? It was canceled for 2 days with the wind and the rain.
The wind, it made it fun. It was like an extra obstacle.
You to say, Dan.
Yeah, I know. You were out there live in the elements. I remember that. That was a lot of fun for you. Your hair looked amazing.
Pretty crazy. So yeah, people were already talking about that, hoping for that good weather at least to last a little bit longer for the end of the month.